Hi, welcome back to Ka-lik Music Song channel. I'm your host, Anson. Today, we're going to explore a big topic on how piano warm-up exercises are a vitally important activity for pianists, both mentally and physically. Also, I'm going to unveil the best method for pianists to warm up before piano practice, lessons, and performance. Warm-up exercises should include a variety of physical and mental elements, such as activating the kinesthetic sense, body mapping the arms, creating a ready-to-play mode, breathing, as well as creating a positive mindset. This project also illustrates how to apply these elements to optimize the warm-up exercises. Additionally, several stretching exercises from the Chinese martial arts, Qigong, will be explained and demonstrated as to how they are beneficial to piano warm-up exercises. Pianists are often able to learn much better through practical application at the piano, rather than trying to absorb abstract information. Applying the strategy that we discussed in this video will transform the ways pianists approach the piano to produce a better quality of movement, reduce tension, and prevent pain. A pianist who is completely warmed up can better concentrate on the creations of sound, musical gesture, and interpretation. Athletes warming up their muscles before engaging in sports can effectively boost their circulations of blood flow, as well as helping to increase and sustain their overall muscle strength. The process helps athletes condition their bodies into a ready mode and allow athletes to have a stronger awareness of their bodies, as well as a higher level of flexibility. Similarly, warm-up activities for musicians, especially for pianists, are necessary to condition the muscles in their fingers, arms, back, core, etc. In short, warm-up exercises can increase a pianist's strength, flexibility, and body coordination. Warm-up techniques can be generally categorized into two principal categories: passive and active warm-up. Passive warm-up involves the increase of core temperature and muscle temperature through external means and methods, such as taking hot baths, warm showers, steam bath. Passive warm-up allows our bodies to tolerate and attain the intensification in core temperature and muscle temperature without draining energy from the body. Active warm-up tends to produce a higher level of metabolic and cardiovascular changes compared to passive warm-up. Typical examples of active warm-up include jogging, cycling, and swimming. In the piano field, active warm-up should involve movements of the piano-related muscles by swinging the arms, rotating the wrists, etc. Overall, active warm-up improves performance by increasing flexibility, boosting oxygen released into muscle tissues through the body, intensifications of metabolism in energy systems, escalation in nerve conduction velocity, and decrease in peak tension time in muscle tissues. Active warm-up can also raise the temperature in our body and benefit performance. During the warm-up, there is an overall increase in post-activation potential and an increased sense of preparedness for a kinesthetic activity after active warm-up. When pianists continually neglect the warm-up process, the risk of injury multiplies. Cold muscle tissues is prone to fatigue and vulnerable to excessive stretching and tearing. The pianist's mindset needs to be focused on making beautiful and inspiring music. We need to create a peaceful mind. For some, similar to meditation, prayer, worship, and adjust our mindset to explore our inner self. Warming up nourishes pianists' music-making processes and their well-being. It is an essential part in preparing to play the piano. Warm-up prepares not only the body, but also our mind and spirit for doing something we love, music making. Physically, warming up creates positive energy to shift us into a ready mode, increasing both blood flow to the muscles and lubrications in the joints. Mentally, the warm-up exercises focus attention and awareness of the movements on our joints and muscles. We call this type of attention to movement kinesthetic sense, which helps to develop a greater awareness of the parts of the body in relation to each other. More interestingly, kinesthetics receptors are in the joints. The general purpose of warming up is to bring blood flow to the muscles as well as to create a feeling of warmth and suppleness. It is beneficial to begin playing at a moderate speed until the muscles are warm, avoiding any technically demanding passages. Warm-up activities not only serve the physical but also the mental aspect by orienting oneself to the sacred space and the seriousness of music making. Warm-up activities should also include deep breathing to help pianists achieve a sense of the grounded moment. In terms of duration, it is suggested that warm-up exercise should take approximately 10 to 15 minutes. Ideally, after warming up, pianists will feel physically and mentally well prepared without any feeling of fatigue. Scientifically, it is recommended that 10 to 20 minutes of warm-up can raise the temperature of muscles to reach a relative plateau. In addition to maximize the long-term performance, it is vital that durations of the warm-up is of sufficient length. Since many piano playing related movements of the hands and fingers are mostly accomplished by muscles in forearms, upper arms, shoulders, back, and the brain, the selected stretching exercises are predominantly involved with these specific groups of muscles. Additionally, there are some exercises that focus more heavily on the mental aspect. The 8 exercises selected originated from Qigong and Tai Chi. Qigong is an ancient Chinese breathing exercise related to the concept of modern meditation as a type of Chinese traditional medicine exercise. In modern day, it has demonstrated beneficial effects on physical ability and mental health in adults with chronic conditions. In addition, Qigong is considered a cure for a variety of illnesses, including hypertension, gastric ulcers, anxiety neurosis, and cancer. Qigong has even been used as a form of anesthesia. Before introducing the stretching exercises, the concept of counter-abdominal respiration method is important in many movements from Qigong. This breathing method encourages a full oxygen level and allows to expelling carbon dioxide from the body, slows the heartbeats, and lower blood pressure. More importantly, Chinese medicine believes that Frequent movement of abdominal muscles activates most of the vital organs in the body that boost the efficiencies of the metabolism. As a result, the process of counter-abdominal respirations can prepare the body for general well-being as well as providing a performing state. This breathing method is similar to the common diaphragmatic breathing, also called abdominal breathing or belly breathing. However, step 2 and step 3 are completely opposites to the common diaphragmatic breathing in applying counter-abdominal respiration method. Applying counter-abdominal respiration method. Step 1. Place one hand on your upper chest and the other on your belly, just below your rib cage. Step 2. Breathe in slowly through your nose, letting the air in deeply towards your lower belly. The hand on your chest should remain still, while the one on your belly should sink. Tighten your abdominal muscles and let them fall inwards as you inhale through your nose. Step 3. Breathe out slowly through your pursed lips. The hand on your belly should move up to its original position. The hands on your chest should remain still, while the one on your belly should rise. Loose your abdominal muscles and let them fall outward as you exhale. Stretching exercise number 1. Sink the energy to the diaphragm. 氣沉丹田. Step 1. Stand straight. Separate both feet about the distance of your shoulders. Relax the back, shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. Both arms are at your body sides. Step 2. Upward direction through different layers. Raise both hands through the wrist, moving inwards towards front and center of the body, palms facing up. Connectedly raising both forearms through biceps. Rotate both hands outwards, palms facing down. Push entire arms through deltoids all the way to the top. Palms gradually facing up. Hold in this position for 6 seconds. Downwards direction through different layers. Literally reversing the upward direction. Rotate hand inwards, palms facing down. Moving entire arms through deltoids. Moving forearms through biceps. Moving both hands through wrists. Moving inwards, palms facing up. One cycle equals to upward and downwards. Exhale when you go downwards and inhale when you go upwards. Scan all parts of the body where both hands travel during the exercise. For instance, chest, shoulder, neck, mouth, nose, eyes, foreheads, etc. Stretching exercise number 2. Elbow drawing exercise. 龍形爪功. Stand still, clasp hands together. Raise your clasped hand above your head, palms face down. Circle the head in the left-right direction as if a friendly bug is flying around your head. while feeling your entire arms relaxing. Look strict, natural breathing. Exhale when you go downwards and inhale when you go upwards. Reverse, opposite direction from right to left. Stretching exercise number 3. 3 rings circle the moon. 三環套月. Stand strict with arms hanging loosely at the body sides. Separate both feet about the distance of your shoulders. Using a circular motion, reach up as if shaping a moon or a circle with your arms. Lower the circle in a counterclockwise motion by creating a bigger arc completely around the body while stretching, twisting the waist to its fullest. The upper body remains relaxed. The shape of a full moon should remain throughout the entire process. Exhale when you go downwards and inhales when you go upwards. Reverse, opposite directions from right to left. Stretching exercise number 4. 2 dragons play with a pearl. 二龍戲珠. Step 1. Stand strict with arms hanging loosely at body sides. Separate both feet about the distance of your shoulder width. Lower your body slightly over balanced legs. Keep the knees within the area of your both feet to avoid hurting the ankles. Relax back, shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. Both arms continue to be loosely at your body sides. Step 2. Sideway on the left. Raise your hands to waist level and curve the hands and fingers as if holding a tennis ball. The left hand is moving along to draw a big circle around the upper body and head using the deltoid muscle. The head and eyes should always follow the hand shape of holding the tennis ball, while the waist is moving along in the direction of the circle stretching to its limit. You should feel the arm expanding to its limit. After the big circle, a smaller circle is being neutly created continuously through the wrist movement on the front side of the body in a circular motion. The palms should always be facing up and remaining open as if holding the tennis ball at all times. Using the entire arm, rotate the wrist and bring the open hand around to the front of the body to its original position. Stretching exercise number 5. Fingers rolling. 收手指. Inward. Raise arms to waist level, placing palms facing each other. Rolling inwards, using muscles in each finger continuously starting from the pinky fingers to thumbs. Finger 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping the wrist quiet while focusing on the rotating action of your fingers. Thrust the arms forward with palms straight forward for completion. Exhale through pursed lips. Outward. Raise arms to waist level, placing palms facing each other. Rolling outwardly, using muscles in each finger continuously, starting from the thumbs to pinky fingers. Finger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keeping the wrist active while focusing on the rotating action of your fingers, wrists, and forearms. Thrust the arms forward with palms straight forward for completion. Exhale through pursed lips. Stretching exercise number 6. Fingers flicking. 彈手指. Raise arms to waist level, using thumbs and fingers on both hands from 2 flicking motions. Flicking finger 2, finger 1 against finger 2, 3 times in a row. Flicking finger 3, finger 1 against finger 3, 3 times in a row. Flicking finger 4, finger 1 against finger 4, 3 times in a row. Flicking finger 5, finger 1 against finger 5, 3 times in a row. Flicking finger 5, finger 1 against finger 5, 3 times in a row. Flicking finger 4, finger 1 against finger 4, 3 times in a row. Flicking finger 3, finger 1 against finger 3, 3 times in a row. Flicking finger 2, finger 1 against finger 2, 3 times in a row. Flicking finger 1, finger 1 against other 4 fingers, 6 times in a row. Exhale through pursed lips as if blowing out a candle when you flick your finger. Stretching exercise number 7. Body slapping. 拍打功. First, slapping moderately the upper chest 6 times in a row. Then slapping moderately the kidney, lower back sides 6 times in a row. Slapping moderately the upper biceps femoris, the position right below the butt cheek, 6 times in a row. Slapping moderately the back of the knees, 6 times in a row. Snapping moderately in the order of sides of left lower legs, left knees, left upper legs, sides of right lower legs, right knees, and right upper legs, 6 times in a row. Slapping moderately the inner joints between left forearm and left upper arm, 6 times in a row. Slapping moderately the inner joints between left forearm and left upper arm 6 times in a row. Slapping moderately the inner joints between right forearm and right upper arm 6 times in a row. Slapping moderately the right armpit 6 times in a row. Slapping moderately the left armpit 6 times in a row. Slap moderately the center of chest 6 times in a row. Slap moderately the right shoulder 6 times in a row. Slap moderately the left shoulder 6 times in a row. Exhale through pursed lips, as if blowing out a candle when you slap. Stretching exercise number 8. Body sweeping. sức bend hay. Sweeping with pressure strokes from the back of the neck to the front, using both hands 6 times. Using right hand on the left neck. Left hand on the right neck. Sweeping with pressure strokes the front of the neck from top to bottom 6 times. Right hand, left hand. Sweeping with pressure strokes the sides of the waist from the armpit to the hip 6 times. Sweeping with pressure strokes the center of the body from the chest to the abdominal region 6 times. Sweeping with pressure strokes the sides of the right legs from hips to ankle 6 times. Sweeping with pressure strokes the sides of left leg from hip to ankle 6 times. Exhale through pursed lips, as if blowing out a candle when you sweep. More importantly, both hands should be totally relaxed and drop through gravity after every single sweepings. Anson Ka-lik piano warm-up exercises are based on scientific research. The exercises are designed to be completed within a time frame of 15 to 20 minutes. Pianists must finish the entire warm-up activity within that period of time in order to achieve the best result. In addition, this exercise targets frequently used piano playing related muscles, tricep, bicep, and also the muscles of the hand and also the finger muscles that extended into the forearms. As a result, the piano-related muscles are warmed up to facilitate an efficient movement. The process will also increase the pianist's awareness of the entire body movement, More importantly, pianists are guided by the visual instructions in this video, specifically how to play with increased and expanded pianist awareness of the body in order to have a better playing. Ultimately, the Anson scene exercises demonstrate effective playing habits, which is the goal of these warm-up exercises. In addition, these exercises are based on the teaching principle of Frédéric Chopin's sketch for a method. Mentally, pianists who cultivate a regular habit of the Anson scene exercises will be able to achieve a higher level of body mapping. The body map is the internal representation in the brain that governs body movement and includes the structure, size, and function of the different parts of the body. Body movement is a moving process where information ceases to be external and becomes internal through the training of attention and the refinement of kinesthesia. When we move our bodies, the kinesthetic sense makes us aware of our body movements and position. Many receptors of the human's kinesthetic sense are mostly located in our joints, connective tissues, and muscles. In order to master the body mapping technique, there are three principal phases. First, training the senses. Second, cultivating an awareness of movement. Third, the process of assessing, correcting, and refining. The three phases are applied during the warm-up procedure. Pianists can effortlessly assess mistakes within their body maps, correct those mistakes, and bring self-perception into line with the reality of the body. Psychologically, the warm-up process can effortlessly and gradually boost confidence and prepare pianists for stage performance. They can then fully engage in the music creating moment, rather than focusing on their physical preparation. From exercise A to K, the key of B major is specifically applied, rather than the popular key of C major. As Chopin points out in his unfinished sketches for a method, C major is the easiest to read on the music score, but it is the most difficult for the hands. He suggests that pianists should seek the most comfortable and most natural position of both hands in relation to the keys. This is to obtain the best sound quality from the piano. Chopin strongly recommends that B major and F sharp major are the most comfortable hand positions among all the major scales, with the three longest fingers on the higher black keys and the two comparatively shorter fingers on the lower white keys. Regarding the tempo of these exercises, there is no standard tempo, as the most important purpose of these exercises is to coordinate and focus on the piano-related muscles, aligning with our body map as well as our inner self. In this illustration section, there are several terms that are applied, such as change of movements and arm gesture. Change of arm movement is the notion that these joints and segments have an effect on one another during movement. When one is in motion, it creates a chain of events that affects the movement of the neighboring joints and segments. One arm gesture, normally it refers to a big phrase without a break, both musically and physically. In the physical aspect, we have to position our body gesture through being aware of the movement of the back, connecting to shoulder, arms, wrists, fingers. Move both wrists up and down by making circle, while the fingertips freely connect to the key. Play the first note using both hands, then the second notes while holding the first notes, and release the first notes after third notes are played. In the mental aspect, visualize the chain of movements, starting from deltoid muscles, then elbow, wrist, and fingers. In your mind before playing, you have to think of this motion. And when we move, we should be aware of the deltoid muscles that are initially used to trigger the entire chain of movements. And also think of the connecting angle to the piano key. In the physical aspect of this exercise, make certain fingertips connect to the piano keys at all times. Deltoid muscles actively lead the entire arm movements. Wrists are raised to be ready and brought down to press the piano key to create sound, while elbows move freely in circles. More importantly, fingers are moved passively by both wrists and elbows throughout the entire process. In the mental aspect, visualize the chain of movement starting from deltoid muscles, elbows, wrists, fingers. When we move, we should be aware of the deltoid muscles that are initially used to trigger the entire chains of arm movements. This exercise is technically similar to exercise A, legato 5-finger position, but exercise C is in a group of 3 conjunctive notes and at a comparatively faster tempo in the rhythm of triplets. Technically, this exercise is a combination of exercise B, swinging chords, and exercise C, legato 3 notes pattern. Listen carefully to the sound production of the notes in a chord. Every single note must be played evenly in order to produce a warm blending sound. No sudden accents are allowed, but gradual louder and softer are required through slur. Also, one slur equals one arm gesture. More importantly, slightly emphasize the outer high and low notes by using little more arm weight. In this exercise, the notes are G sharp, A sharp, B, B, A sharp, G sharp on the right hand, and G sharp, F sharp, E, E, F sharp, G sharp on the left hand. exercise is inspired from Chopin's Etudes Opus 25 No. 6, double third, in G-sharp minor, a technical study focusing on thirds. More significantly, deltoid muscles actively lead the entire arm in a circulating movement. Wrists are moving in a circular motion to make one gesture of sound through a group of notes connected by slur, while elbow should be relaxingly positioned as low as possible. This allowed fingers to move freely using this particular technique. More importantly, there is no room for continuous tension, especially in the muscles in the area of the upper top and lower bottom forearm throughout the entire process. Slightly emphasize the altered high and low notes by applying a little more arm weight. In this case, the notes are G sharp and A natural. On the right hand, G sharp and F sharp. This exercise is inspired from Chopin's Etudes Opus 25 No. 6, double third, in G sharp minor. However, this exercise focuses on double fourth with the right hand fingering of 3-2 and 4-1, which allows the stretching between the second finger and the third finger. Overall, the technique of this exercise is related to the Chopin's thirds. This exercise is inspired from Chopin's Etudes Opus 25 No. 8 in D major, a technical study focusing on the sixth being played in both hands. In this exercise G, it focuses only on 6 played by right hand 4-1 and 5-1 finger pattern. This exercise is inspired from the playing of tremolo, a third parts, which is sometimes encountered in piano repertoire, especially in orchestral piano reduction arrangements. In the physical aspect, chains of movements illustrated by the opening of the door knob, actively turning the entire hand, wrists, to rotate from a horizontal to a vertical position. In the mental aspect, when we move, we should be aware of the forearm's rotation that is used to trigger the entire chains of arm movements. This exercise focuses on tremolo in octave, which appear in many solo piano works, accompaniments, and piano reductions of orchestral arrangements. This exercise is inspired by the piano works of many composers in the classical era, such as Haydn, Mozart, and the early works of Beethoven. This musical pattern appears in many solo piano works, accompanying music and orchestral piano reduction arrangements. For instance, the first movement of Beethoven's Sonata for cello and piano in G minor Opus 5 No. 2 makes extensive use of this pattern. The name of this exercise is inspired by the horse's walking sound clickety-clop, as the motion and the rhythm are like this sound, especially when you do the finger exercise on a table. Does it sound like a horse walking? The trio appears widely throughout the piano repertoire. The finger pattern of 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, and 4-1 are commonly used. In this exercise, the finger pattern of 3-1 and 4-1 are focused. It helps the pianist to play the trio rhythmically and evenly with the sense of rhythmic pattern. This exercise focuses on the turn. This musical device is often used in the piano repertoire, especially in works from the Baroque and Classical era, such as J.S. Bach's dance suites and Haydn's sonatas. The finger pattern of 1-4-3-2-1 is frequently used. This exercise helps pianists to play the turn rhythmically and evenly, feeling the rhythmic pattern. The turn combined with an octave leap appears in music by Beethoven. For example, in the G minor sonata for cello and piano, Opus 5 number 2. This exercise focuses on octave technique. Octaves are widely used in the piano repertoire. This exercise will help pianists to play octaves rhythmically and evenly, feeling the rhythmic pattern. In the physical aspect, the bicep muscle actively leads the whole arm in an up and down movement, vertically, similar to that. The wrists are passively raised throughout the entire process. More significantly, you must raise your wrist slightly higher when you play on the only black key, F sharp. In this exercise, while elbows should be relaxed and positioned as low as possible. This allows finger to move freely for this particular technique. More importantly, there is no room for continuous tension, especially muscles in the area of the upper top and lower bottom forearm throughout the entire process. Ideally, the angle between forearms and upper arms should remain at about 110 degrees rather than 90 degrees. This helps to ease the tension to make a smooth change of movement. In this particular exercise, we have to visualize the change of movement starting from bicep, elbow, wrist, and fingers. When we move, we should be aware of the bicep muscles that are initially used to trigger the entire chain of movements. This exercise was inspired by the last movement of the C minor sonata for the violin and piano, opus 30 by Beethoven, where passages require a direct jump from one note to another by the same finger. In the physical aspect, the deltoid muscle is being used to move the entire arm in the sideways motion, as if wiping off a table, to approach to the correct key accordingly. This exercise was inspired by the last movement of Sonata for the violin and the piano in C minor, opus 30 by Beethoven, where passages require rapid arpeggios. It heavily relies on moving the body core muscles to lean in the directions of the keys. This will allow your entire arm to be relaxed, especially at the elbow and wrist. Then the finger will play themselves very easily. After the warm-up procedure, I hope you have a very inspiring piano performance. Thank you for watching this video. Remember, never stop learning.